Hi, it's Jim and Craig from the Dive Line, and we've got another exhibitor spotlight for Scuba Digital. Would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, everybody. My name is Roni. I work for Atlantis Dive Resorts located in the Philippines. We operate 2 dive resorts and a liveaboard. I lived in the Philippines for the past 5 years, and now I kind of got stuck outside of the Philippines. And so, as you can see in the background, definitely waiting to get back there and hoping that you join me.
Well, it's great to have you as an exhibitor, Roni. Why did you choose Scuba Digital?
Well, you know, we do quite a lot of shows per year. I probably personally do over 20 around the world, and then we have other ones in the US. So cumulatively, we're about 30 shows per year. We miss that. We miss our people. We miss our guests. We miss our agents. We miss the opportunity to be out there and tell everybody about diving in the Philippines, about Atlantis Dive Resorts. And so any medium that is now available to do that, we're there.
So what are Atlantis Dive Resorts exhibiting this year?
Well, we are exhibiting our product, of course. So it is a dedicated dive resort. We actually operate 2 dive resorts and a liveaboard. And so amongst the 3 locations, we cover most of the best diving in the Philippines. And the concept is, like I said, it's a dedicated dive resort. So we're not some eco yoga resort where you can hug trees and do a couple of dives. No, we are a hardcore dive resort. We do 5 guided boat dives per day. We've got dedicated camera rooms. We do heaps of photography workshops with lots of guys that speak your accent, like Alex Mustard and Alex Tattersall. They do annual workshops with us and some other photographers from around the world. And so the idea is that people come, dive, eat awesome food, get the hype of all of this buzzing diving community within the resort. And that's what we do best. And so that is what we're coming here to bring you guys.
So being involved in the travel sector of the dive industry, how are you managing your business in relation to COVID-19?
Yeah, that's how we're managing the business at the moment. You know, look, Atlantis is a well-established company. We've been around for 26 years. And so it's a well-established, well-financed, well-capitalized company. So it's not one of those small, 10 to 16 room resorts. We have 40 rooms in Porto Galera, 44 in Dumaguete, and another 16 spaces on the boat. And so basically we've shut down the entire operation since the end of March, where we had to evacuate people off the boat, off the resorts to get out of the Philippines on time before the international borders closed. It was a hectic time. We definitely didn't think it would last this long. We have been doing everything that we can for the staff, whether it's fundraising, employing them as security guards while the resorts are shut down, and really just waiting for everything to come back. We as salespeople, there's 3 of us, and we are fiercely working, whether it's online trade shows, whether it's actually being on the road, talking to people over the phone, really just trying to be in touch with all of our customers and friends to ensure that once the borders open, people are back traveling. And I am optimistic. I think that the dive travel industry will be the first or one of the first sectors within the travel industry to come back, because all of us are edgy. We're eager to get back in the water and into nice warm water. So we're asking the southeastern country, Asian country gods to open the gates.
So you've put new procedures in place for COVID?
Oh, wow. Well, absolutely. The Department of Health in the Philippines basically came up with 3 books that are about this thick, and those regulations change on a weekly basis, of course, because consistency is key. But we have to comply with all of these just to open the gates. And so we do, whether it's disinfection of rooms and things like that. But luckily for us, our resorts, as I said, are designed for divers. And so everything is open. Our restaurants are open air. There are a lot of open air areas in the resorts. And so people can keep social distancing, not a problem. And also our dive groups are definitely very small compared to some other operators. And so our maximum ratio is 1 guide for 6 divers, but normally we do 1 to 4. And so also because we don't dive on bunker boats, those big outrigger boats, we dive off small speed boats. And so every group has its own boat. And so you don't end up mixing people. And so what we've started putting in place, obviously we're not open yet, but what we've started putting in place is staggering departures of boats. So people are not even in the same area at the same time. Nevertheless, our dive shops are super spacious and all of our briefing is done outdoors. And so, diving is quite a safe sport when it comes to COVID because everything is outside, you're at the beach, there's wind blowing and it's super hot, which we know would kill the virus. So there's definitely a lot of those. And we also do staggered seating in the restaurant when it comes to meal service. And so all those things are coming to place to comply with the regulations and to ensure, first and foremost, the safety of our guests.
Well, that sounds brilliant. Sounds all really good. So other than that, all the exhibitors have a show deal or a show discount. What is it that Atlantis are offering?
And so one of the things that we realized as we were coming up with different specials and we were looking at our customers and what they're looking for, we realized there's two kinds of operations. The one that completely whore down the price because all they want to do is just get people in there and they're not thinking long-term sustainability. They're just thinking cash now. And then the other ones are trying to think, well, what is it that is preventing people from traveling right now? What is that aspect? And that aspect, at least my opinion, is the uncertainty when it comes to travel, right? Because today you say, if I asked you today, hey, do you want to go dive in the Solomons?
Yes,
what would
please.
be your answer? Let's sign me up. But then you go like, but wait a minute, when can I go? And so it's the travel date that gets people edgy. It's not about where you're going, it's about the when. And so what we've offered is we bundled together a really good offer to put out there. Basically, people can buy that now. And with buying that now, you pay a deposit, a small deposit that helps us sustain in this time. So when we open, boom, we're open in the 5-star service that we're used to and that our guests expect. And your travel dates are open. Through the end of 2022, you basically have open travel dates. There's no restrictions. There's no blackout dates. There's no seasonality when it comes to price. Okay. It's like you're prepaying for something that you will determine the date later. And it's all based on availability. And so that's what we're doing. It's a little bit different than the other resorts. Again, it's not about the price. It's about giving people the ability to choose their travel dates freely.
That's a great answer. Thank you. Obviously, in the travel segment, there's lots of different destinations, particularly at Scuba Digital at the show. Why the Philippines? Why should people come and see you specifically?
Well, first of all, because I'm super nice. No, I'm just joking. So the Philippines is located inside the Coral Triangle, as we all know, and that's the majority of corals and aqua life in the world. And so we can talk about the Coral Triangle for a long time. Of course, other nations are part of that Coral Triangle. But what the Philippines has to offer are three things. As you can see behind me, other side, incredible coral reefs, very, very healthy, no bleaching, no breakage, really just walls in beautiful, beautiful colors, a very diverse dive destination. Whether you like to see big stuff, you've got areas for big stuff. You've got thresher sharks and whale sharks and sharks. And so mantas, one, and then we also have all the macro life, and then we have sites that combine the two. And so when you come to a country like the Philippines with over 7,000 islands, you are able to get everything in one spot, right? Whether you have to move between islands, that's fine, but nevertheless, you're in one country, right? That is actually easy. And that leads me to point number 3. It's a safe, English-speaking, very easy to travel country. And so when people think about going on dive vacation, they go like, wait a minute, but do they speak my language? Is the food okay? All these kind of questions. Can I move freely? If it's let's say it's a group of girls, can I move freely? Can I travel freely? Can I go on a ferry without being worried about getting robbed or something? Well, Philippines is a safe country and the people are like the nicest on the planet. And so that combination of exquisite diving year round, warm tropical water, incredible dive destinations within the Philippines, plus the safety makes it the #1 country to choose for diving. And now why choose Atlantis? Well, if you're coming to dive, this is who you want to dive with. You know, all of our staff is local staff. They've been diving those beaches for years. People come to us with a checklist of what they want to see. And these guys know exactly where to find it. We have dedicated camera rooms. We have incredible Western food with Filipino spice. And so all of that combined gives people the ability to come worry-free, dive 5 dives a day, see heaps of stuff, and just have a great time.
Wow. So I'm sure lots of people are going to be queuing up to come and see you. So how do they contact you?
Well, we've got a website. It's atlantishotel.com. We also have a YouTube channel, Atlantis Dive Resorts. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram page under Atlantis Dive Resorts. And you can go into all of those, DM us, send us an email, contact us via the website. Again, it's atlantishotel.com. And please, please go on these social media channels, because at this point in time, this is all we have. This is all we can show you, what's really going on there and what is the beauty of diving there. And so once you go there, you're definitely going to get hooked.
Well, Roni, it's really, really nice to hear such enthusiasm about your destination. You've painted a fabulous picture of the Philippines. We hope you have a great show. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks you for watching us, and we look forward to seeing you online.